Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and I'll be brief.
Thank you, sir.
My name is James Quintero. I represent the Texas Public Policy Foundation. I want to thank you for your endurance and for the opportunity to address the committee in support of HB 3879. I believe this bill addresses three main critical components: trust, transparency, and truth in taxation. Very quickly, I want to go through what I think are some of the reasons to favor the bill. First, it would let voters follow the money and ensure that they have a clear line of accountability, and it does so by preventing taxing units from transferring M&O revenues to third parties like LGCs. Second, it begins to reverse the trend whereby we see the lines blurring between M&O and INS. I think that's a very disturbing trend that we need to get a handle of. We need to make sure that the form, function, and boundaries of these two rate categories stay intact. Third, it would actually safeguard the legislature's intent the 2019 legislature's intent by requiring regular and consistent voter approval for large tax increases. I believe this was actually the spirit that animated that legislature and its desire for a system that prioritized public participation and engagement. And so I want to encourage the committee today to help get us back on the path that honors transparency, clarity, and the legislature's prior commitment to public participation. So hopefully you'll pass this bill. Thank you very much.
Very, very good. Thank you, sir. Members, any questions? Chair recognizes Chair Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You spoke about the legislature's, this bill would help us get back to the legislature's intent in 2019. I remember that bill well.
Yes, sir.
It seemed very clear if you were going to go above 3.5% revenue increase, you had to go to the voters. You know, say why you're going to the voters. It seems like that's what happened here. I mean, I pulled up the ballot language, for this proposition back in 2020, and it seems pretty clear in black and white. The city spelled out why they were asking for a tax rate increase, what they were going to do with it. And it was approved by, I think, 58% of the voters. So that seems to me to be, no matter what you think of the project, it seems to me very consistent with Senate Bill 3 in 2019. Where am I wrong on that?
That's a good question, sir. So, I think my main concern here is, again, we're blurring the lines between M&O and INS. And I think Representative Troxclair made a very good and disturbing point that we actually have allowed ourselves to get in a situation where we've allowed a M&O tax increase that exists in perpetuity and that is allowed to fund effectively infinite bond money. That is a very troubling trend that I think has the potential to spark some lots of unintended consequences statewide.
Okay. Well, to me, it just seems consistent with what we passed in 2019. And again, I think there's a fair debate to have, should something change going forward. So perhaps something like this doesn't happen again, but it seems to me to be a real leap to go back and retroactively change something that was passed 5 years ago by the voters. So, but thank you for your thoughts.
Members, any other questions? All right, thank you.